Hi there, welcome back to Vondelpete, and in today's video we're just going to talk briefly about why I'm not in a cult. Now, of course, I've mentioned cults on this channel before, and some people who've been watching my YouTube channel for a while now will remember when I tried to start a cult, and it ended quite quickly. And I've also talked about being part of a Japanese cult at one point. However, I think if you watch that video in full, you'll see that I didn't actually join a cult there. I was just at a Japanese Jesus festival that it had roots in a cult. But it was actually on that video I made about the Japanese cult, and somebody made a very sassy comment on the video. They said that believing in any truth of MBTI is proof that you are in fact in a cult. So the comment was basically saying that if you can talk about personality types all the time like I do, then you're actually in a cult and you're deluded if you think that you're not. Now, I got a bit sassy at this comment and I wrote back and said, well, it's probably one of the better cults to join because I feel like there is the Myers-Briggs Foundation that nobody seems to really care about. Maybe they've got cult-like aspects, but I haven't joined them. I think in terms of like your average cult that people think about when they think of cults, they often think of more sinister cults that, it's hard to leave them and it causes all sorts of pain to the friends and family around. However, I thought I would talk a little bit in this video about how I actually don't think I'm a good fit for a cult at all. I did a year of Cub Scouts where you have to go into this hall with all of these scout leaders and put on these scarves and badges and howl like a wolf every day at the ceiling, and it felt very cult-like, and I was a terrible scout. We once had to make a fire, and I remember I kicked the fire out. I just thought, I'm so bored with this whole making a fire process. I'm just going to put it out, and everyone started yelling at me. But what I'm trying to say is I didn't do well in that cult, Cub Scouts. I didn't do well as a Catholic. I never liked being in any groups at all. And I mean, I could never be in sport teams. Again, it was just the fact that I was inept at physical things. I was not competitive with sports. I was not competitive with scouts. Another example would be when I moved to Japan 10 years ago and there was a J-vlogging scene. There were all these big Japan vloggers, people who moved from America, from Canada, from the UK and Australia. They moved to Japan, they make videos about living in Japan. And I did that too, and it was very exciting to go and start that new life. And I'm glad I did it, and I had a really good time, but early on I went to this YouTube meetup, the J-vloggers meetup, the Hanami in Tokyo, and I schmoozed with big YouTubers and I started getting more subscribers. I started getting emails wanting to do like collaborations with other YouTubers. And just the idea of being part of that scene, being part of a supportive community, made me feel really dirty. I remember being at, what was it? No, I was at Ikebukuro Station in Tokyo and I was catching the train back after going to a karaoke night with some big YouTubers, thinking like, oh wow, I schmoozed. I left a good impression, and now I feel dirty within myself because I felt like I joined a clique. And when there was some night where they put a video of mine that was doing quite well. They showed it on a big screen at some bar in Tokyo, and I didn't even show up because I was like, no, because if I show up, I'll be part of the group. I don't want to be part of a group. I want to stay alone in my room. And I didn't that night. I hung out with like a Japanese guy instead, got really drunk, didn't go to that event that I should have turned up to, even though I was thinking of going to that area in Tokyo where my film was being screened. Not film, my YouTube video was being screened. I just went straight home. And then I went on a message board for Radiohead because I'm a Radiohead fan. And it turned out that Tom York, the lead singer of Radiohead, just happened to be in Japan that night at a bar nearby doing DJ stuff. So I always imagine this other universe where I would have tried to be part of the cult of J-vloggers, the otakus, the geeks who create YouTube videos about being in Japan. I could have become friends with them. And I'm sure that if I went to that event, I would have gone to the bathroom at some point. I would have gone onto this forum, atease.com, in a bathroom, and I would have found out that Tom York was nearby, and then I would have gone and seen Tom York in a small Japanese bar DJing. But I didn't. I went home to be alone. That's how committed I am to not being part of any groups at all. I can't be part of fandoms. You know the word fandom? When people they're still introverted, they find it hard to socialize, but they still join like these online communities and they feel part of it. And I'm not even good with that. So I guess the closest I am to a cult is this community, the MBTI YouTuber community, well, actually a very small part of it, where it's like There's like friends of the channel, like Radish Raven and Buffo and Dullies and Old INFP Insights and other ones I've left out. It's like Casserole. That's my cult. And it doesn't feel like a cult. I feel too independent. I don't feel like we're doing any rituals. And I don't feel like if I stepped away from it, I would be hunted down and murdered by, say, Dulles. He seems really nice. I don't see him doing it. So that's why I'm not in a cult. I hope you got something out of this video. Let me know in the comments if you relate to what I just said. I think I went on a few tangents in this video, which is very unlike me. Anyway, I'll see you next time. I gave you all I